Welcome to the Fireside Chat for Fitness and Nutrition with Adrienne and Ken. Today we're going to be talking about stretching smarter, their PNF techniques, and how also to stretch goals for health. Ken, do you want to kick us off with the PNF techniques?
I do, Adrienne, thank you. Yes. So what is PNF? PNF stands for proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. Basically, it's a way, an advanced way of stretching that is more effective than static stretching. Static stretching is you take a joint to its end range till you start to feel the stretch and you hold for 30 seconds to a minute. And then you relax and then you switch sides and then you do multiple sets on each side. That's static stretching. PNF involves a form of static stretching, but then a contraction of the muscle, which allows the muscle to then relax more. And there's a whole bunch of things. There's the Golgi tendon, there's the nerve, the nerves get involved. So basically what's happening is the body is, the muscles are telling the joint, it's okay, you're going to be okay, let go, let the muscle go. And it works. So it's more effective than static stretching. And I'm going to show you 5 PNF stretches that I think are very important. The big muscle groups, or the 5 that I think that are most important, and I'll explain why as I'm showing them to you. So the first exercise, or the first stretch I'm going to show you, is for the hamstrings. And that's really important because a lot of people have low back problems. And if you can stretch those hamstrings out, that'll prevent you from posteriorly tilting or pulling on the low back. That's important because we sit all day. We sit all day, and because we sit, our knees are bent and our hamstrings tighten up. So if you can elongate those hamstrings, that's a good thing. And these stretches are once a day, and they don't take very long. It takes less than static stretching because they're more effective. So what you'll do is this. You take a stretching strap or a towel, it's fine too. This is just easier on your hands. You just wrap it around you put it around the end of your foot. And then what you'll do is straighten the knee as much as you can and get it straight first, and then bring it to your chest as much as you can until you come to a point where it's tight. Now, stretching should never be painful. Okay, so just keep that in mind. There should be no pain, especially in the joint, but in the joint or the muscle. So, you've got a stretching point, you found it, and you're just going to hold that for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, here's the contraction part. What you're going to do is you're going to try and touch your heel to your butt. So you're going to try and go down this way. But what's important here is that here's the end range of motion right here. When I contract, I don't want it to move. It's an isometric contraction. So there's no movement in the contraction. What you'll do is, so here's the end range of motion. Then you shouldn't be able to tell that I'm contracting. So here we go. We're going to try and curl for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to relax, and it should go further, and it does. And it's not going to go much, but it will go further. And then you're going to hold this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Contract it again for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax it, and then you should go further. And it does. And you're going to do these 2 to 3 to 4 repetitions of that. And you can actually hold the contraction for up to 10 seconds. So 10-second stretch, 10-second contraction, 10-second stretch, and so forth. And by the end, you should be more than when you first started. So the range of motion should have improved. So that's the hamstring. Now, the next exercise, the next stretch I want to show you is for the quadriceps, or the muscles in front of the thigh. So what you'll do is you'll get on your stomach. You're going to go ahead and squeeze your glutes so that you don't do what's called anterior pelvic tilting. Anterior pelvic tilting pulls on the lower spine, which you don't want on the lumbar spine, which we do not want. So you're going to squeeze your glutes. You're going to bend. We're going to do one leg at a time. You're going to bring your heel to your butt, and you're going to go ahead and come to an end range, which is right here. Again, it should not hurt your knee, and the stretching should not be painful. So this is my end point. So we're going to hold this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kind of straighten your knee. Try to straighten your knee. for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, and it should go further. You see it does. So, and then you're going to hold it for 10, so forth. And you're going to do this again for 2 to 3 to maybe 4 repetitions. And then you can just relax. So there's that. Then I want to show you a stretch for your chest, because we're on a computer all day, we're driving, our shoulders are rounded, and that has a lot to do with these chest muscles that are just short, tight and short. So what you'll do is you'll find a doorway, a door jamb. You're going to hold your shoulder or your elbow at shoulder height. And you can actually, it could be slightly higher, slightly lower. And you can, this is going to be up to you. You can experiment with this, because there's different attachments. There's there's a sternal attachment of the pectoralis major, and there's a clavicular attachment, or origin, and it just depends on which is tight on you. But I would start with the elbow as high as the shoulder, and you'll lean forward until you've come to a stretch point, and you're going to hold this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to try and turn out. So you're going to try and turn your body this way. So try and turn. So until you feel it come to wait a minute. I'm going to start over on that one. So I'm going to show you the chest stretch. So you're going to go ahead and stretch. So you're going to, okay. Ooh, I've lost my train of thought. I'm going to start. So I want to show you another one. It's called for the pectoralis major. So and you want to do this because tight pectoralis major muscles pull you around your shoulders and pull it forward. You're on the computer driving all day, and the shoulders round, and that creates tension in the back and the neck. So if we can open up the chest, that's a good thing. So you'll go ahead and find a doorway. The elbows as high as the shoulder. You're going to go ahead and lean forward and slightly turn out until you feel a stretch point. Until you come to a stretch point, you feel the stretch right here. You're going to hold that for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I want you to go ahead and press forward with your elbow and your hand for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, and you should be able to turn a little bit more and hold for 10, and then do it, and then contract for 5, and then 10, and 5, and then 10. And that, again, 2 or 3 sets, and that's going to open up your chest right here. So another exercise or another stretch I want to show you is for the hip flexors, the muscles in the front here. When those are tight, it puts you into anterior pelvic tilt, which puts a lot of pressure on your low back. We don't want that. We want to keep these hip flexors flexible. And again, the reason they're tight on most people is because we sit all day. We're not active as much as we should be. This is going to help. You step back. I'm going to stretch this hip flexor of the leg that's back. Step back with one foot, and you can do this up against a wall or on a chair, something for support. And what you'll do is you'll go ahead and tilt your hips forward like a scared dog hiding its tail. You're going to hold this stretch until you find a stretch point for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to try and drag your back foot forward, but it's not going to move. This is isometric contraction. You're going to contract the hip flexors by trying to move your foot forward. You're going to pull for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax, and you should be able to move forward just a tiny bit more with this front knee. So bend this front knee a little bit more, and you'll feel another stretch point past the first one. And again, you just continue to repeat that on, off for 2 or 3 or 4 repetitions. And then the last stretch I want to show you is for the calf. And it'll look like this, much like the same setup as a hip flexor, but let me lower this down just a little bit so you can see my foot. What you'll do is you'll set the same setup, step back with one foot. I'm going to stretch this calf here. And what you'll do is you'll bend this front knee until you're going to lock this back knee, bend this front knee until you come to a stretch point. The back heel is on the ground. It does not raise off. You hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now the contraction is going to be the toes and the ball of the foot of this back foot pressing into the floor. So press it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, and you should be able to bend the front knee more till you come to a new stretch point. And you're going to, again, repeat this 2 or 3 or 4 times
and you should show, it should enable you to have a better flexibility in those muscle groups that we did. And it doesn't take as long as static stretching. It's pretty quick. The results are pretty quick, and you'll be happy. So do you have any questions? Is that clear?
Just one question. Is PNF basically also known as dynamic stretching? Because I learned about
No.
like static versus dynamic.
No, that's a totally different thing. So dynamic stretching is something that you do to warm up. This would be a dynamic stretch. It's like this, where something that mimics what you're going to be doing. If I'm going to be doing chest presses, I'd want to go like this. This is this kind of having the muscles go through a range of motion, a larger range of motion than it would be doing the exercise. So it kind of gets the muscles stretched or flexible for you and woken up so that you can do a movement. But that's totally different than PNF. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that could actually be another whole podcast. There are different types of stretching. I didn't know.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yep.
Another thing that we want to incorporate into stretching, not just our bodies, but ourselves in the sense of our goals. We often set goals for ourselves with the best of intentions. We're going to eat healthier. We're going to exercise more. We're going to get much needed sleep. But what if you could stretch your goals a bit further and challenge yourself to achieve more than you thought was possible? That is the power of stretch goals. Pushing yourself just beyond your comfort zone to see real, lasting improvements in your health and well-being. Let's explore how to create some stretch goals for your health that are both motivating and also achievable. A stretch goal, as an example, would look like, I'm going to walk 5 times this week and add an extra 10 minutes to each walk, because it's about building momentum, expanding your capacity for health, just little by little, so you're not overwhelmed or underwhelmed. So another thing I would do is consider starting with SMART goals, and then stretching. Because the foundation of any stretch goal is really first creating a SMART goal, the specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. Once you have that solid base, then you can stretch it further. So by starting with something realistic and achievable, you're actually giving yourself a foundation that you can then build on, which also helps prevent burnout and discouragement. So many of us will start with such high level, 100 different things that we're going to do starting January 1st, right? We've all been there. Another thing is to consider adding layers to your goals. So add different dimensions. Rather than just focusing on a single aspect of health, consider how you can include mental, physical, and emotional elements into your goals. An example of this would be if you want to improve your fitness by running 3 times a week, stretch that goal by including a mindfulness practice either before, after, or during each run if you can. This helps you cultivate a more holistic approach to health. And an example of this would again be like, instead of I'm going to run 3 miles 3 times a week, you could say I'm going to run 3 miles 3 times a week and practice 5 minutes of mindfulness before each run to reduce stress. So by doing this, you're adding layers. It gives you a richer experience. You are developing habits and improving multiple areas of your life at the same time. When it comes to nutrition, some stretch goals here can definitely help you in your aim for maybe more nutrient-rich choices and long-term sustainability. So an example here would be if your goal is to eat 1 serving of vegetables with dinner, stretch it by incorporating 2 servings of different types of vegetables into each meal. The idea is to increase variety and also nutrition while challenging yourself to elevate your eating habits. So an example here would be, instead of I'm going to eat 1 serving of vegetables for dinner each night, you could say I'm going to eat 2 servings of vegetables with lunch and dinner, and I'm going to include a mix of leafy greens and colorful vegetables. That's also just way more exciting than 2 servings of carrots, for example. And this approach also ensures that you're getting a wide range of nutrients, and it reinforces healthier eating patterns in general. Now, one of the things that can help you with your stretch goals, because it is kind of hard when we're getting outside of our comfort zone, is to find somebody to keep you accountable, whether it's a health coach, a friend, or a fitness buddy. Having someone to check in with you can help you stay on track and push through those moments where it gets to be pretty tough. And the accountability adds an extra layer of motivation. So it makes it more likely that we're going to do it and even exceed our goals. An example of this might be, I'm going to do 45 minutes of yoga 3 times a week, and I'm going to check in with my accountability partner weekly to report on my progress. It can be that simple. But sharing your goals with someone who can encourage and challenge you can make a significant difference in your progress. And another idea is incremental improvements and focusing on that, because stretch goals don't have to be and they shouldn't be overwhelming. The key is just to push ourselves in increments rather than leaps. So instead of expecting overnight dramatic results, aim to just improve by small steps. A goal here would be maybe you want to drink more water. Your original goal might be, I'm going to drink 8 glasses of water a day. A stretch goal might be, I'm going to drink 8 glasses of water a day. And I'm also going to replace my afternoon soda with herbal tea or sparkling water. There you go. It's small, it's meaningful, and you're stretching yourself in ways that are sustainable and will lead ultimately to long-term change. Now, here's a key piece. You want to reassess and adjust along the way. One of the benefits of stretch goals is that not only do they keep you flexible in your body, but also in your life. If you find that your initial stretch is too ambitious, it is totally okay to reassess and make some adjustments. Keep in mind, health is a lifelong journey, and there's no shame in having to recalibrate in order to make sure that your goals actually still suit your current capacity. So an idea here would be, if you find that adding 15 minutes to your workout is too much, scale it back to 10, maybe 5 minutes, and build from there. If you are going to cook a new recipe every night and that feels overwhelming, aim for 1 or 2 new recipes a week. This way you're staying adaptable, you're staying kind to yourself, and also it just helps ensure that you stay motivated for the long term. So stretch goals, while they are about aiming higher, it's also about growth and continuous improvements. So start small, challenge yourself just to go a little bit further, watch how your mind and body respond. And remember, each stretch, no matter how minor, does bring you closer to your healthier, more vibrant self. So let's all stretch together, right?
Excellent. Excellent. I like that.
Any questions at all?
No, I have a comment on the accountability buddy. My mom relies on me to be her accountability coach. She just texts me that every time she does her exercise, which is 3 times a week, she texts me and she's told me, if you didn't respond to me, I wouldn't do it. So thank you for being accountable. So it's good. She's 80 years old, so it's never too late to start, and she's making progress because she has to check in with somebody. So it's helping her.
It's really, I think, a key part in helping us make change, for sure. There are people who don't really need a whole lot of accountability, but most of us do. And just knowing that we have somebody to check in with and say, yeah, it was good or bad this week, and for them to encourage or challenge us when we're like coming up with excuses, really, really awesome. So we would love to hear about your stretching, trying this new form of stretching, and then also how you are going to create some stretch goals for yourself, not just SMART goals, but stretch goals. And feel free to put some things in the comments below. We'd love to also hear what topics you'd like us to cover in the future. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time. Take care.
Bye.